power comes from how he talks, not what he says. He doesn't communicate through policy. He communicates through emotion. Anger, hurt, bravado, victimhood, dominance, humor, loyalty, resentment. This style, chaotic and simple and repetitive, feels authentic to voters who distrust polished elites. Let's call it what it is. He speaks at a very low reading level.
America will no longer settle for anything less than the best.
He repeats phrases endlessly.
I won't say he was an older fellow, but he was an older fellow.
I'm not going to say anybody didn't do well. They didn't do well.
He performs anger and triumph like a professional wrestler.
That's enough. Put down the mic.
To urban elites and people who can read, it sounds completely unhinged. But to these rural voters, it sounds real. This is the strangest part though. Trump is an elite, but his voters don't see him as one. Why? Well, number one, elites equal cultural class, not necessarily money. To many rural Americans, elite doesn't mean rich. It means degree holders, journalists, scientists, tech workers, urban professionals, academics, and the media, bureaucrats. Trump has money, but he doesn't have their mannerisms, their language, or their values. Number two, aspirational alignment. People struggling financially often admire wealth if it feels earned or relatable. Trump's flashy wealth feels like fantasy, not oppression. He's the billionaire who eats fast food and screams on TV and hates the media and sounds like your weird, crazy uncle on Facebook. He's not above you. He's what you'd be like if you won the lottery. Number three, the protector archetype. Voters project onto Trump the role of the strong man who protects us from elites. He's not scared to call them mean names. Their psychological role overrides material contradictions. Let's be honest. Race is one of the biggest forces in this story, but not necessarily in the cartoonish way we often talk about it, like they're racist. It's a bit more complicated and more revealing. For many poor rural whites, life genuinely feels hard. Factories closed, wages stagnant, addiction everywhere. So when they're told Black and brown Americans have it worse, you have white privilege, they sometimes hear instead, you don't matter. Empathy becomes a zero-sum game. A lack of education equals a lack of historical awareness. They only know what's in front of them. If you never learned about systemic racism and you've never lived near diverse communities and your school doesn't even teach history and you only ever get taught the Bible and your town has been declining for decades, then privilege feels like an insult, not a social fact. Racial isolation intensifies status threat. The most pro-Trump areas were overwhelmingly white and geographically isolated, with very, very little day-to-day contact with immigrants or any racial minorities. Authoritarianism thrives where education is low. Decades of political psychology research link lower education to higher authoritarian tendencies, a preference for stability, simplicity, order, hierarchy, a strongman protector. That is Trump's brand.